Time is really running out for Jason Morgan in Port Charles, and everyone can feel that ticking clock now. You can hear it in every chat, every argument, every look that doesn't quite finish. It feels like his time at General Hospital is coming to an end, and it might just go out with a bang. Jason isn't usually one to panic, but now he feels a real sense of urgency. It feels like I'm surrounded with problems coming at me from every side. Crooked plans, health scares, and legal headaches. But under all that mess, there's something way more explosive brewing, a big showdown all about Drew Willow. And the secret Alexis has been keeping locked up. For years, Jason lived by a code that even if it wasn't always right, he never strayed from. Loyalty first. Safety first. Things are different this time around though. Drew wasn't just some innocent bystander caught in the crossfire of a larger conflict. He was family. Blood. Willow, being the shooter, just blew up any idea that Port Charles was operating with even a messed up version of justice. If Alexis finally admits she knew Willow was guilty and defended her anyway, things won't just get a little messy, they'll explode. Jason doesn't have forever to paint, but that just makes him more determined. He's never really gone for the whole public apology tour or dramatic court stuff. He goes about justice in a way that's straight to the point, planned out, and very precise. Now that Drew's name is all tied up in suspicion and Michael's about to take the fall legally, it seems like Jason is preparing to take charge the only way he knows. If the law can't get to Willow because of all the legal ins and outs like double jeopardy, Jason might feel like he has to find another way to make her pay. The word eliminate feels pretty heavy. It's always been there in Port Charles, a looming threat everyone feels but no one really talks about. Jason wiping out Willow would be less about getting even and more because it makes total sense for the story. It would just be about getting things back to normal. Willow's decisions have really set things off. Drew almost died, Michael's in danger. Scout's future is totally messed up and Alexis is in a tough spot ethically. All those lies just piled up one on top of the other and now the whole thing feels like it's going to collapse. Feeling his time might be running out, Jason could see this as his last chance to fix everything. Alexis is about to confess, which makes everything even more explosive. She just can't keep her guilt all tucked away anymore. Knowing she stood up for Willow even though she totally knew Willow did it is eating away at her. When she finally tells Jason she knew about Willow shooting someone and covered for her, everything's going to change in a big way. Jason won't think of it as a legal screw-up. He's gonna think I stabbed him in the back. Not necessarily about him, but about Drew. It's about what's fair and right for everyone. Their family works, but it's held together by a really delicate trust. This one confession would change all their strategy, everything they thought they knew. Jason has been kind of in the dark, you know. He's had his suspicions and has been trying to put the pieces together. But finding out for sure really changes everything. When you get proof that suspicion you had, it turns into a reason to act. It really turns that doubt into something you can actually do. And with things already getting pretty chaotic, Alexis coming clean could just be the crazy shift everyone's been sensing. The really dangerous thing here isn't just that Willow shot Drew. She really handled what came next with a lot of thought and careful moves. They can't try her again for the exact same crime, so prosecutors are really pushing to make sure someone pays. Michael got himself into trouble. A misplaced key, a bit of circumstantial evidence, just a few whispered doubts, and just like that, the whole story could turn against him. Willow feeling bad could land Michael in jail. And Jason won't let that happen. It's not so simple though. Getting rid of Willow in any way, shape, or form would completely break the family. Scout's mother would pass away. Danny wouldn't have much left to hold on to. Alexis might lose her license, her credibility, and even go to jail if her involvement gets out. This Jason always makes choices that lead to disaster, but he thinks they're justified. Jason has so little time, and that's a big deal on its own. When a character's about to leave the story, writers usually make big changes to shake things up. A sacrifice. One last violent act. Someone's gone and now everything's different. Thinking about Jason getting Drew's rights back, his name, his dignity, and clearing his good name, that could really be the perfect way to wrap things up. If he takes down Willow's act and tells everyone what's really going on, there's a good chance he won't get through it without some damage. Port Charles really makes you pay if you try to be a hero. It always wants something big in return. That new crazy shift coming our way, it doesn't feel like a twist at all. It's more like an avalanche heading straight for us. Alexa spilled the beans right as Jason started to disappear. Willow's tough front starts to show some cracks. Michael's vulnerability got even worse. Nobody knows what's going to happen with Drew. Everything just kind of feeds into everything else. Keeping secrets just makes things more complicated. Maybe that's really what's changing. For a long time now, Jason's been that steady presence. The quiet one who somehow kept Port Charles from completely falling apart. Things could get messy when he leaves. If he actually goes hard on Willow, that won't just be different for the show. It'll also be a real change from the kind of moral balance he's always besent. If he gives up his own standing to shield Michael and keep the kid's future safe, that would show a really big change too. It would mean Jason is picking what he leaves behind instead of getting even. No matter what happens, it's clear his time is getting short. The choices he makes now in these last few weeks are really going to matter long after he's not around anymore. Alexis's story, Willow's guilt, and Drew getting a raw deal, it's all coming together in a way that just feels like things are about to blow up. Poor Charles is about to change big time, and Jason Morgan, thinking he might have to go, probably won't just disappear without a fuss. At the end of the day, it might not just be about getting rid of Willow. It might be about getting rid of that lie that really messed things up for everyone. If everything blows up because of it, that'll just show what we've all been feeling. General Hospital is heading into one of its craziest, most out-of-control story changes ever. Jason just had that gut feeling his time in Port Charles was almost up. It wasn't like he got a warning or saw a ticking clock. It's like a heavy choking feeling, almost as if the air around him changed. The air feels tighter. The quiet moments just feel really heavy. A look can say so much without a single word. Things have always been a bit crazy for Jason, but this feels like a new kind of crazy. It just feels planned. And right in the middle of everything, you've got Drew, Michael, and Willow, who's becoming a bigger problem. Jason has always jumped at the chance to face danger if it meant keeping the people he loves safe. He's been through a lot, taking bullets, vanishing into the shadows, and giving up years of his life. All without a single complaint. He'd jump in front of a bullet for Drew, no question. He wouldn't even think twice about risking it all if it meant keeping Michael out of jail. It's not a gun or a bomb that makes this moment scary, though. Willow could be done with fear and desperation, moving with calculated control. If Willow really went to the dark side, Jason isn't just dealing with someone who's scared. He's up against someone who really knows their stuff about the game and is playing with serious accuracy. Drew got shot. Someone is pushing Michael toward a legal disaster. Alexis is eaten up with guilt because of what she knows. Jason feels like he's gotta hit back because he's a loyal guy and it's just what he does. But someone might already know his next move. Willow could totally use Jason's protective instincts against him if she really gets how he ticks. Like how he always wants to keep people safe and is even ready to give things up for them. She just knows he is going to act. She can draw him in by getting him to move closer. If getting rid of him is what it takes for her to control the story, she might just do it. It's not the thought of more violence that's truly scary. The real fear is that Jason's death might be made to seem like it couldn't have been avoided. Like it was even deserved. Someone set this up. Someone messed with how things played out. They twisted the facts to make it look like he started things. The danger here is all in our heads. Things are different now. For a long time now, Jason's been the person who figures everything out, making sure things don't go completely wild. He might be scrambling, driven by a sudden need to act, while Willow stays cool, calm, and collected, always thinking ahead. That switcheroo alters the whole situation. That strength of his really becomes a weakness. Jason just isn't wired to pick self-preservation over Drew or Michael. He's going to go for it even if he smells a trap. Alexis just makes the storm even more complicated. If she finally comes clean about knowing Willow shot Drew and still took her side, things are going to blow up right away. Jason won't be dealing with a legal dilemma. He's going to witness Drew's betrayal, then the betrayal of justice. That confession could be the spark that makes him finally do something. Being too decisive when things are like this can really mess you up. If Willow's back is against the wall, she might just see Jason as the last thing standing between her and staying alive. Once someone's pulled that trigger, that mental block, it's just gone. Jason's move to protect Drew's reputation and keep Michael out of trouble could really make Willow feel more desperate. He gets closer and she's more and more exposed. When you feel backed into a corner mentally, you can get pretty ruthless. Port Charles is changing and it's a big deal. It's not just about if you're guilty or not anymore. It's all about who's in control. Willow might be incredibly desperate to keep a grip on what happens in her life, what she does, and where she's headed. Jason, on the other hand, is working to bring things back to normal. Finding that sweet spot means being honest, but sometimes the truth can mess everything up. If he tells everyone her secret, the delicate balance keeping Scout and everyone else in the family together could fall apart. If Michael keeps quiet, things might get really bad for him. Nothing really ends up perfectly clean. That's what's so haunting about it. Jason isn't looking for revenge. He's just trying to protect something. He's trying to save both Drew and Michael so the legal system doesn't chew up the wrong guy. But the more he does, the closer he might be getting to his own finish. Knowing his time is short really raises the stakes. This just feels like the end, doesn't it? Like we're walking down a hallway that's getting narrower. And each choice we make here is one we can't take back. If Jason goes down trying to save everyone, it won't be because he didn't know his own strength. That'll happen when he didn't realize how much obsession can mess things up. Most people don't recognize Willow's darkness as true darkness. It's quiet, really patient, and super strategic. And that's why it's so deadly. Port Charles is really going off the rails. It's getting wild and out of control. Things aren't so clear-cut anymore. It's getting harder to tell who's the hero and who's the victim. Jason is ready to sacrifice himself again, just like he always is when he gets to that line. But this time it's different. The threat isn't some obvious enemy right there in front of us. It's gotta be someone inside their group, someone who really gets how he operates. This person might even decide to get rid of him just to keep their own story safe. If Jason dies saving Drew and Michael, it will not just be a tragedy. This will show us that the fight for control has gotten totally out of hand. When it all comes down to it, with loyalty, battling, obsession, saving everyone else might just cost him his life. Jason's death isn't going to be a quiet thing. It won't just be some random accident or a senseless loss in some far-off conflict. It's going to be the absolute peak of everything that has been brewing. All the lies, the sneaky manipulation, and those desperate tries to keep a story together that was already falling apart. When Jason goes down, Port Charles is really going to feel it. The man who stood between chaos and collapse, who absorbed violence so others could survive, will finally be gone.